What would you do if you woke up to find bulldozers tearing through your life's work, all because someone decided your land was their playground? That's exactly what happened to Henry Walsh, a quiet man who'd spent years turning a forgotten 12.5-acre patch into a living, breathing Eden. This wasn't just dirt to him, it was his heart, his purpose, his fight. And when they tried to take it, he made them pay in ways they never saw coming. Henry wasn't the type to chase applause. He liked the quiet, the kind that felt solid, like the weight of good soil in your hands or the creak of a barn door settling at dusk. After decades working in agricultural restoration, fixing land others had bled dry, he'd scraped together enough to buy his own slice of earth on the edge of a small township. It wasn't much to look at overgrown scrub, tangled vines, a few busted fence posts from some long-gone cattle ranch. Where others saw a mess, Henry saw a canvas. Not for cookie-cutter suburbs or manicured lawns, but for something rare, wild clover that barely survived anywhere else, medicinal herbs nearly wiped out by industrial farming, tiny ecosystems that only thrived in untamed chaos. He didn't bulldoze it clean. He worked slow, with hand tools and a couple of borrowed goats, composting what he cut, leaving the rest for the bugs and birds. In 3 years, he'd brought back 12 native species thought long gone from the area. Migrating birds started nesting again. A local college even sent students to study his work. But Henry didn't crow about it. No signs, no press, just a journal where he noted when a new plant took root or the dew hung heavy on the western slope. He wasn't the land's master, was its keeper. And that made folks uneasy. The subdivision nearby had sprung up fast, all beige houses and lawns shaved so close they looked dead. The neighbors weren't cruel, just clueless. They'd peer out their windows at Henry's field and call it messy, or wild. One lady even dubbed it practically feral. At the heart of their gripes was Linda Mercer, the kind of woman who spoke with ironclad confidence about things she barely grasped. Linda ran the neighborhood committee like a drill sergeant, her voice sharp, her outfits always splashed with flowers, even in February. Her front yard boasted solar-powered gnomes and a sign that screamed, "Be kinder, be gone." You didn't reason with Linda. You nodded and moved on. Henry tried. He'd smile when they passed at the post office, stay quiet when she ranted about his jungle in the grocery line, even gifted her a jar of his lavender tincture one Christmas. It didn't matter. To her, he was the weed guy, the mosquito man. She'd been gunning for his land for months, dropping hints in newsletters about property value threats and unruly wildscapes. Then came her big park project. It started with a glossy flyer in every mailbox. Saw help beautify our community. Let's bring nature to you. Saw buzzwords like wellness and play zones danced across the page, complete with a digital sketch of kids frolicking, dogs leaping, and yoga mats facing the sunset. Linda had rallied signatures faster than Henry thought possible. But something in that sketch stopped him cold. The natural meadow zone wasn't just any land, it had saw ridges, saw hand-trimmed oak. When he called the project line to point out the error, a chipper voice brushed him off. "Just a mapping glitch, sir. No one's touching private property." Intentions, though, didn't mean much when Henry heard the diesel roar at dawn. He just set the kettle on when the growl settled outside, steady, not passing. Stepping onto his porch, he froze. A yellow bulldozer idled past his fence. 2 guys in neon vests strung orange tape through the brush like it was nothing. A white truck blinked its hazards on his gravel drive. One worker, a kid with a clipboard, waved at Henry like he was just another neighbor. Henry didn't wave back. He marched to the tape. "What are you doing on my land?" he asked, voice low, jaw tight. The kid blinked, chewing a granola bar. "This is for the Park Prep Zone 3. 6 acres, I think. Planners cleared it last month." Henry's eyes narrowed. "I didn't clear anything." The kid faltered, but behind him, the bulldozer lurched forward. Its blade bit the earth, ripping through fireweed and goldenrod like they were paper. Henry didn't yell. He turned, grabbed his phone, and called the only lawyer he trusted. Voicemail. He left a message, then dialed the land records office, a surveyor, and a college ecologist he knew. By noon, 3 rows of his field were gone, the air thick with diesel and crushed earth. Somewhere, 2 streets over, he heard Linda's laugh float through an open window. Henry didn't cover the scar. He let it gape, a raw wound for the neighborhood to see. He spent the day indoors, triple-checking his deed, maps, and surveys. His ownership was ironclad, stretching 60 feet past where the bulldozer stopped. The problem wasn't the paperwork, it was that no one bothered to check. His inbox filled with half-baked apologies, bureaucratic nonsense about parcel overlay errors. A contractor sent a blurry map with his land circled in red, labeled Naturalization Zone 3. No signature, no approval. At 4 p.m., Linda showed up, lavender blouse crisp, binder in hand, smiling like she owned the porch. "Just a mix-up," she cooed. "The board's sorting it out. We all want beauty, safety, right?" Henry didn't invite her in. "I want my plants back. I want my soil fixed, not sterilized." Linda clucked her tongue. "Let's not overstate a few weeds' value. Most were invasives anyway." Henry stared. "You approved machinery on private land without consent. That's not a mix-up. That's actionable." Her smile froze. He handed her a legal notice his lawyer had drafted, demanding restitution and the board's full decision log. Linda's binder tightened in her grip. "This could look bad for everyone, you know," she said, retreating. Henry shut the door. That night, he sat with coffee and wrote down every detail: stake placements, tire marks, vest names, the truck's registration. This wasn't a mistake, it was a quiet plan, banking on him giving up. But Henry didn't tire easily. He called an out-of-state surveyor, Greg Tanner, who owed him no local favors. Greg's drones and maps confirmed the bulldozers hit exactly where someone sent them, wiping out 6 years of restoration. Henry mailed the evidence to his lawyer, the town, and Linda's desk. Days later, an unsigned note appeared in his mailbox. "Saw you're being unreasonable. Let progress happen." Saw he filed it under evidence and lodged a complaint with the County Land Commission, freezing any work on his land under investigation. The retaliation came fast. Construction debris, nails, rebar, broken tile blocked his western path, not random but deliberate. He photographed it, filed a sheriff's report, and flagged the area. A law firm letter accused him of public nuisance for his caution tape, threatening fines. Henry forwarded it to his lawyer, Samantha Reed, with his surveys. Then landscaping crews showed up, chainsaws roaring just shy of his boundary, kicking dust onto his land. He held up the county's protection notice. "Anything within 30 feet is protected. Disturb it, and it's reported." The crews left in an hour. Orange violation tags plastered his mailbox next, citing fake infractions like DY soil blight, each with a DULA 1,500 fine. He checked the town's bulletin board, no new ordinances. The tags were a bluff. He logged them, requested a county audit, and froze the fines. The real game-changer came at the regional herbarium. A botanist friend, Dr. Clara Hines, confirmed one of Henry's destroyed plants, prairie star loam, was up for state protection due to habitat loss. Its destruction wasn't just vandalism, it was an environmental crime. Clara filed an affidavit, and the State Ecology Registry opened a re-VYEW. Henry's field wasn't just his anymore. It was a legal flashpoint. At the town hall, Linda pitched her park like a done deal, all smiles and slideshows. Henry sat in the back, waiting. When questions opened, he stood. "Has an environmental impact study been done for Zone 3C? State law requires it," Linda faltered. "Preliminary re-VYUs were conducted?" Henry cut in. "And have you disclosed the county's investigation into your unauthorized clearing?" The room stirred. Linda's smile cracked. "This is about our future, not hurdles." Henry's voice stayed calm. "A future built on theft doesn't last." He sat, Leah VYing the room buzzing. The tide turned hard. The county found fraud in the board's grant applications, falsified maps, and no environmental clearance. The state slapped a cease and desist on all work near Henry's land, with due law 50,000 fines per violation. Samantha filed suits against the landscapers, the board, and Linda personally. At an emergency meeting, Linda spun the findings as red tape. But two DA investigators walked in, handed her a folder, and asked her to step outside. Her face went gray. "This is a misunderstanding," she stammered, knocking over a display as she left. Henry watched from the parking lot, their eyes locking for a split second. Her smugness was gone, replaced by raw fear. The fallout was swift. News outlets called it a scandal, fraud, abuse, ecological harm. Linda resigned, sold her house, and vanished. The board collapsed, the landscaping firm folded. Henry's suits won big full restoration funding, legal fees, damages, and a public apology. He oversaw the restoration himself, watching experts replant native seeds and stabilize soil. It'd take years, but it was happening. He set up a conservation trust and a legal easement to shield his land forever. Neighbors who'd scoffed now nodded respectfully, some levying bread at his gate. Henry didn't need their approval. He walked his field at dusk, past a hand-carved sign, saw private land, protected by care, not permission. Saw the fight wasn't about anger, it was about what mattered, rooted deep in the earth he'd fought for. And as the first green shoots pushed through, Henry knew he'd won, not just for himself, but for the land that never asked for a war.